Welcome back into Miami Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. We are live for day 2 of NFL free agency. We were live for nearly 6 hours on day 1 when the Dolphins made absolutely no moves. But since we signed off yesterday afternoon around 4:30 Eastern time, Miami has been quite active in free agency, making a handful of signings. 4 exterior players have joined this Dolphins roster. Miami has also re-signed a couple of guys like Quentin Bell and Elijah Campbell. We are going to continue to break down everything happening in the NFL on today's live show, talk about the Dolphins players that have been added to this roster, how they fit in, what players Miami could still target, because this roster does have some holes still that need to be filled in the safety room, in the defensive line, I would argue offensive line some more, as well as the cornerback room. So welcome into Dolphins Today. As we always do, we'll start off with this. Shout out your city for me down in the comments section. Where are the real ones watching from? We are joined by Justin on our A once again. Justin, how are you doing? Dolphins made some moves for exterior free agents. James Daniels, S Ifeatu Melifonwu, Zack Wilson, Larry Borom. What are your thoughts?
I'm hoping that the chat's excited. One of the targets that we've been talking about all off season in a position of need was signed.
I had to get one. I mean, we have talked ad nauseum about James Daniels, Will Fries, Julian Blackmon, Andre Cisco, Talawani Hufanga, and the way it was shaping up here, Hufanga was off the board. Cisco was off the board. And it's just like, I got to get one of these guys that I've been talking about at depth, one of these guys that I've been targeting nonstop. And we got James Daniels, which makes me very, very happy, makes me very, very excited. I'll be looking forward to seeing him pair up with Austin Jackson on that right side of the offensive line. I do think Daniels will be your right guard, Austin Jackson right tackle, Aaron Brewer center. There is still a hole at that starting left guard spot, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But let's give some shout outs. We got Jonathan in Melbourne, Florida. We got Every Noodle calling in from the 419. Miami, Florida from Dolphins fan. Claim the Stars is in Cincy. Brooklyn, New York from Asia. Fresno, California from Ruski. Terrence is in where is he? Where's Terrence from? I missed the chat. The chat screwed up. Whoops. Robertson, California. We got Mark Wayne in Miramar, Florida. Miami from Snake Eyes. Fort Myers from Oscar. West Virginia, Naples, Pembroke. Let's go, baby. Atlanta, England. Ocala, Florida. That's what it was from Terrence. Shout out to him. Shout out to Terrence. We got Jack from Miami, Rhode Island from Devon. Gaming is in El Paso. Victor from the 305. Switzerland, Crestview, Florida, Warwick, Rhode Island. We got a bunch of real ones tuning in here, 170 people watching. Appreciate everyone joining us here on our second day edition. This could be the last time we're live for free agency, if I'm going to be honest. We'll see what happens the rest of the week, but we don't have a live plan tomorrow or the rest of the week, but we had to come back live for day 2, so hopefully we make the most of it, party, have fun, talk it up, have a good time here on day 2 of free agency. Al is in LA, North Carolina from Cameron. Shout out to all the real ones here. Leasley says, is the safety we signed good? Listen, so here's the order of operations. We're going to tell you about our sponsor on today's live show, and then we're going to get into all 4 players that the Miami Dolphins have signed thus far in NFL free agency. We'll start with James Daniels, and then we'll get into S Ifeatu Melifonwu, talk about Zack Wilson and Larry Borom as well. But we do have to tell everyone about today's sponsor. That is Mando, the #1 whole body deodorant on the market. The only deodorant that I trust to keep me smelling clean when I'm out in public and going to work. I'm making sure I got Mando with me. The time for spring cleaning has come, and to be honest, I am kind of excited this year. Mando's whole body deodorant gives me confidence when I leave the house. It's safe to use anywhere on your body. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. The starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. Couple of items here. One specifically, the deodorant wipes. I'm a massive fan of deodorant wipes because I go play basketball, I go out grocery shopping, I go in golf, and when I'm out running errands, if I have to go meet some friends out or go out in public even more and I don't feel like I'm smelling right, deodorant wipes will keep me covered. Also perfect for travel on the go. And as a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. I appreciate everybody tuning in here. Time to break down the Dolphins free agent signings here. So we have the full tracker. Miami has been quite active, and I think it's going to be fun to look at what these 4 players that the Dolphins signed will bring to the Dolphins, but then we'll also talk about the 2 players that Miami re-signed, and then we'll look through everything that has happened over the past 24 hours in NFL free agency. But the first move that Miami made was re-signing Matt Dickerson. That is a non-really negotiator, not really something we're going to talk about. But then the first deal that free agency was made, signing backup quarterback Zack Wilson. This was interesting. Obviously, former number 2 overall pick of the New York Jets out of BYU. Never succeeded there. Has a lot of good traits. Big-time arm. Athletic as well. But has struggled in terms of his accuracy, his processing, his decision-making. Was backed up in being the backup for Bo Nix last year in Denver, had good reviews in that locker room, in that QB room. Miami gives him a 1-year, $6 million deal that can get up to $10 million, but ideally Tua plays all 17 games, and Zack Wilson never sees the field, which makes it a 1-year, $6 million contract. And he is your backup quarterback for next season. James Daniels, the prized addition of the Miami Dolphins thus far in free agency, 3-year, $24 million deal, a player that we have talked a lot about leading up to free agency being opened, gets an $8 million per year contract. Details have come in on Daniel's contract as well. His cap hit for 2025 only sitting at $3.9 million. Pretty low number for a starting right guard, in my opinion. Highest graded run blocker in zone run schemes last season by Pro Football Focus at 91.9 grade. Was also coming off of a torn Achilles. That's why you get him in a little bit of a discount here. He is returning, only played 4 games last season, but medicals have checked out. According to Barry Jackson, is expected to return to the football field late May, early June, so should be ready for training camp in July and August. They also signed offensive lineman Larry Borom, basically simultaneously to getting James Daniels. Now, Borom is a swing tackle. This is likely a Kendall Lamb replacement, someone that can play left tackle, play right tackle. He can play inside at the offensive guard position as well. We've often talked about how Chris Grier likes depth on his offensive line. Larry Borom provides that as a depth piece. You wonder if they bring back Isaiah Wynn as well. Borom, I know, has not been good. He is a bad offensive lineman, but this is a depth swing piece that the Dolphins project to be an inside guy rather than a tackle. He really struggles at left tackle, but hopefully we never see him there. Then these moves coming in this morning. All 3 of these have happened early morning here on free agency. If I keep on botching his name, even though I've said it earlier right today. Ifeatu Melifonwu, 1-year, $4 million deal, former 3rd-round pick out of the Detroit Lions, Syracuse Orangemen, has been a corner safety hybrid, plays the last couple seasons as a safety, 1 year, $4 million with Miami. I don't think he should be a starter for the Dolphins because he's played 4 seasons. He has been injured for most of his time in the NFL. Unfortunately, has dealt with hamstring, a lot of ankle injuries, some hand injuries as well. Melifonwu is interesting, good player. When healthy, nothing extremely good, but he is just an all-around good ball player. So Melifonwu, interesting addition here. Would not slate him in as a starter. I think if Miami went out and signed a Julian Blackmon in free agency, who's still out there, drafted a safety on the first pick or the second-round pick, you get that move, and then you have a good, well-rounded room of McMorris, Melifonwu, Blackman, draft pick. Would be very happy about that. But then they also re-signed 2 guys here. Elijah Campbell, the DB, 1 year, $1.9 million deal. And then edge Quentin Bell, 1 year, $1.5 million deal. Good to have them back. Go to the grade the Dolphins for agency so far next. But, yeah, these are the 7 moves that Miami have made. Matt Dickerson, Melifonwu, Campbell, Bell, James Daniels, Borom, and Zack Wilson. 7 total moves since free agency has started. Grade the Dolphins for agency so far. How are we feeling about Miami's moves? A, B, C, D, or F. You can also factor in some of the players that Miami has missed on. Javon Holland left earlier today. We'll talk about that. We've seen Jonathan Allen go to the Vikings. Will Fries going to the Minnesota Vikings. I give it a solid B minus. It's like whatever you can fit as a mix between B and B minus, that is where I'm at. Like a B minus plus.
What's wrong with a C plus?
So you're going C plus?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I'm happy about it, and I think it's in the B's, is because I think that James Daniels contract is pretty good. Like, I predicted that it was going to be like a 1 year, $7 mil, $8 mil type deal. They end up giving him 3 years for 24. But his cap hit being so low this year at $3.9 million is pretty good. Like, it's pretty helpful, pretty low. Dolphins currently sitting at $10 million in cap space still. So we'll see if Miami makes any more contract restructures to get more space, whether it's Zach Sealer, Jordan Brooks, Tua Tagovailoa. There are still some options out there. They could extend Jalen Phillips technically and lower his cap hit this season, which is currently about $13 million. So what's up, Sam?
Sorry, did I miss Bradley Chubb got his contract restructured?
Yeah.
He did?
That happened a long time ago, yeah.
Okay. I never saw it official on Spotrac.
Yeah. That happened like last Wednesday or Thursday.
I don't know, ball. You know me.
Yeah. So those are the moves so far. I see a lot of B's, pluses, D plus, D, C minus, C, F, C plus, C, A minus, B, D, B plus, C plus, B minus, B plus. I think the consensus is probably around that C minus, B minus range. Seems where the consensus is. Listen, I'm not going to act like the Dolphins have had the best free agency of all time. I certainly will not do that. I'm just not a mouthpiece for the organization. But I think it's been solid. They addressed backup quarterback, and I think it's a good backup quarterback. Listen, there are some players out there that are probably a better veteran and more stable in terms of like a Gardner Minshew, a Marcus Mariota. But I like a little bit of upside. I like a little bit of intrigue with Zack Wilson. And if there's one QB coach, one offensive coordinator, offensive mind that you can be excited about getting his hands on Zack Wilson, it's Mike McDaniel. And like I mentioned, I'm a big fan of James Daniels. If you individually grade the Dolphins for agency class, I would probably go Zack Wilson at a B minus, James Daniels at an A minus, Melifonwu at like a C plus, Borom at like a C, and then the re-signings all at like a C minus. So like that's kind of how I feel about that. That's how the grade comes out to a B minus plus for me at this point. That's where we stand. All right, we got 300 people watching right now. We need to hit that thumbs up icon though. Only 39 likes. Hit that like button. Let's do that 50% one, but change the read only, change the numbers. We currently have 40 likes. We need 150. I think we could get to that 50% like rate. I think we can get to that number. Also, we forgot to change the too many E's there. So hit that like button. You want us to stay live? Our plan is to be live for about maybe 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. We'll see what happens, but we could stay live for however long y'all want. If the super chats come in, you guys are interactive in the chat. But that's the plan right now. Hit that thumbs up icon. We needed now 80 likes. We're at 72. Get to that 50% number right here. Come on. Get that 50% number. Let's climb closer to that 150 number here, folks. Birkins, if you're going to be just completely out of the pocket trolling today, we're going to get you out of here, man. Keep it with keep it with Dolphins, keep it with football. Like, come on. Continue to hit that like button. Let's get to 150. Get to 150. Yeah, I mean, he's on the hot seat. He's on the hot seat every time he comes into the chat because I know how he is, but, like, I'll give him a chance to correct it, or he's gone. No, we're talking about football, man. And because I just know how you are and what you will comment in the future, you're on a very thin line. If you didn't have your past history, you wouldn't be on the hot seat right now. But I just have seen too many weird things from you, man. You can't see there you go. You can talk about Stefon Diggs. I don't think the Miami Dolphins should sign Stefon Diggs. Cam wants his past history. He's just coming to the chat and typed weird shit about me personally. And just a weird dude, man. Weird dude. Not doing it. Not doing Stefon Diggs. Not doing Stefon Diggs. So many people are out on Zack Wilson as a backup. Like, am I crazy here? Like, isn't that a fun backup? But he's also the best backup you've had in the last 4 years. He's probably on par with Jacoby Brissett, who was the backup early into his career. He's certainly better than Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle and Tyler Huntley. Like, I don't know. Like, I like Zack Wilson as a backup.
What quarterback would they prefer?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you are someone who doesn't like the Zack Wilson backup quarterback signing, who would y'all have wanted? Who would y'all have wanted? Seriously. Who? Minshew? Mariota?
What's the difference between Minshew and Zack Wilson?
I gotta be honest. I don't think there's that big of a difference. Like, I gotta be honest. I don't think there's that big of a difference between Minshew and Zack Wilson.
They're both erratic and do dumb things. At least one of them, or both of them, can maybe win you a game. And that's the point. If Tua gets long-term hurt, season's over.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no. Fins for Life saying Zack Wilson is equal to Mike White. No. I don't understand why you guys are hating on Zack Wilson so much. You realize we have had to deal with Mike White, Tim Boyle, and Skylar Thompson over the last 2 seasons. They are bad. Zack Wilson, although has not had a lot of success as a starter, is a good backup. Like, to me, this is driving me insane. You can't complain about the Dolphins not addressing backup quarterback, and then they give a deal to Zack Wilson, 1 year, $6 million, and then you get upset about it. Like, that's the best backup we've had in the Tua era. It just is. For the people saying Ryan Tannehill, he was never going to come back to Miami, and he is probably not wanting to be a backup. I think Ryan Tannehill would honestly rather retire than be a backup quarterback at this stage in the NFL. I think you saw that last year because he was cut going into the year, and he didn't sign with a team because no team wanted to give him starting caliber playing time. So I don't think that was an option. With Gardner Minshew and Wilson are very similar. Erratic, highs are high, lows are really low type of guy. One is just much younger and has more upside at this stage in their career. And then with the Jameis Winston stuff, yes, Jameis Winston is and would have been a better backup quarterback than Zack Wilson. Are y'all paying Jameis Winston 10, 11, 12 per year? Because I bet Jameis Winston ultimately signs a contract where he's getting 10 mil per season.
I bet you he doesn't sign anytime soon, just hoping someone gets hurt. And he could
be one of those guys, absolutely, yeah. And then people saying Joe Milton. They were not going to trade for Joe Milton, guys.
Isn't part of the deal Joe Milton gets to approve his destination?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I would expect Miami to draft a quarterback on day 3, whether it's Quinn Ewers, Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Shuck, Jalen Milroe. Maybe they go out and grab one of those guys, but Zack Wilson's going to be your backup. Draft a quarterback on day 3 to develop. Sounds good to me. Because the ideal situation is here, Justin, in my opinion, Tua is your starting quarterback, obviously, this year. Then you have Zack Wilson as your backup. 1-year deal. You draft a quarterback on day 3. You develop him, and you feel good about him after 1 year to where you can either let Zack Wilson leave in free agency and have that pick that you have this year be the backup next season to Tua, or you really like what Zack Wilson has done. You see him in your building every single day and re-sign him to be your backup next season again, or maybe a multi-year contract and maybe, like, this is crazy. I don't expect it to happen. But if Tua is really bad again this year and is injury prone and the Dolphins struggle, you like what you saw from Zack Wilson in your building, in practice, in training camp, in preseason, every day, day in, day out, well, then maybe you say, like, oh, shoot, if we're moving on from Tua after this season, a transition year of Zack Wilson, maybe that's a possibility. Is it the most ideal outcome? No. Am I rooting for that? No. But it's just another reason why signing someone as youthful and with upside as Zack Wilson is more beneficial to me than signing a free agent veteran QB that is in that same tier like a Gardner Minshew. I like Gardner Minshew. He was at the top of my list. I didn't really pick Zack Wilson as someone Miami was going to target, but I like Zack Wilson as a backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. All right, how about we do this? Let's roll through the free agent tracker. Let's start about midday yesterday, and then we'll get to the most recent signings, and then we'll look at free agent targets for Miami. So that's what we'll do for here. Let's start a little more down. I say we start with, keep on going. Let's start right. Yeah, no, next one. There's no juice on that one. All right, we'll just start here. All right, we're going to start looking at some of the most free agent trackers here. We'll start with what Miami did in the late afternoon. This was after we signed off live show yesterday. Obviously, we just talked in depth about Zack Wilson and how he was going to be the backup quarterback for the Dolphins. And then a target for Miami. Tershawn Wharton, the defensive lineman, heading to Carolina. He got a much bigger deal than anticipated. That's $18 million per season. Did not expect Wharton to get that whatsoever. He's off the board for Miami. Then a couple other moves. I missed this. I did not know Tierra Tart signed with the Los Angeles Chargers until just right now. 1 year, $5.5 million deal. Former Dolphin. Remember, he was in the building, and then the Dolphins released him before the season. Couple other moves there. Ryan Kelly heading to the Minnesota Vikings on a 2-year, $18 million deal. Then a pair of wide receivers off the board. Darius Slayton and Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins goes to New England. Slayton returns to New York. Couple linebackers signed on mediocre contracts. I got to be honest, I don't know who Michael Hope is. But 2-year up to $24 million deal with the Buffalo Bills. Then a player that we did talk about quite a bit, Dre Greenlaw. 3-year, $35 million deal to the Denver Broncos. We mentioned him quite a bit as an option for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins were interested in Greenlaw, but evidently he signs for just under $12 million per season. Coming off of an injury, he was someone Miami targeted, would have been an absolute elite duo with Jordan Brooks on that linebacker core for Miami. Ultimately not the case. He gets a big contract from Denver. It's a good deal for the Broncos because if he pans out, oh boy, he will be worth that in every penny. Giants make a couple mediocre little signings there. Depth piece there, Joseph Asai and Jake Hansen. And then we got into the late night here, where the Chiefs re-signed their long snapper, and then Miami signed 2 offensive linemen. We still do not know the full details on Larry Borom. I do anticipate it being relatively cheap, but he is a swing tackle, depth piece, versatile guy that can move inside. And then obviously James Daniels, the nice prize addition for Miami. $8 million per year, $3.9 million cap hit in 2025. Starting right guard for the Dolphins in this upcoming season. James Daniels, very excited about that. Then Chase Young re-signed with the New Orleans Saints on a 3-year, $51 million deal. Big contract there. Then you see some massive deals come in late last night. Najee Harris going to the Chargers on a 1-year deal. I know Miami fans, some of them wanted Najee. Never made sense to me. He goes to Los Angeles. Byron Murphy re-signs with the Vikings on a big-time $66 million contract. Miami could have had interest there, but was never going to target him at that price tag. I actually think it's an overpay for Byron Murphy. Good corner. Never thought of him as a 20 mil per season guy. Like him getting more money than like DJ Reed, Carlton Davis kind of shocked me a little bit. And then a Dolphins safety target, Andre Cisco, 1 year deal to the Jets, 10 mil. Disappointing a little bit in my eyes. What have I said about Andre Cisco? I expected him to get anywhere between 7 and 9 million per year. Ultimately gets 10, so slightly higher than I anticipated, but a 1 year deal. I would have been interested in Cisco on that price tag, but maybe the Dolphins have a plan here in Julian Blackmon. One could only hope. Raiders made a pair of moves late last night. Lonnie Johnson Jr., Landon Roberts, couple offensive linemen, including our old friend Robert Jones, starting left guard for the Dolphins last season, heading to the Dallas Cowboys on a 1 year up to $4.75 million deal. Then going into the morning here, late last night, Chauncey Golston heads to the Giants on a 3 year, $19.5 million deal. And then the target for the... 1 second here. So let me look. Where I seen? Slick Rick just said Joey Bosa is going to the 49ers.
Oh.
Now, that is not an official scoop, I will say, but Slick Rick has been doing an excellent job of having some sources. He's saying Joey Bosa is going to go to the Niners. We'll ultimately see if that becomes official. That is not official yet. I want to make that abundantly clear, but there are deep rumors that Bosa is joining Nick Bosa in San Francisco. But you see Jonathan Allen, 3 year, $60 million deal with Vikings. I wanted Jonathan Allen. I like Jonathan Allen. I wanted him quite a bit. But 20 mil per year for Jonathan Allen's crazy.
Crazy.
He was making $15.5 million this past season for the Commanders. They cut him. I said I wanted Jonathan Allen, but didn't want to trade for him because I did not want to give him a $15.5 million contract this year. The Vikings gave him 20 mil per year. So I am very much okay with not giving him that contract. Moving on to the next slate here. Miami getting involved with S Ifeatu Melifonwu and Elijah Campbell. But the big one here, Javon Holland. Safety drafted by the Dolphins, played well. Going to the Giants on a 3 year, $45.3 million deal. Kind of stunned that it's only 15 per year. Thought it was going to be 18, 17 mil per season. Not the case. He gets 15 per season to go to the Giants. I would have thought about bringing him back at that price, but not the case. Intrigued by that. It is what it is. Javon Holland going to the New York Giants.
You kind of predicted that, though.
That his price tag was coming down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll see. And then we got a couple big ones here. Javon Hargrave, shot to the heart to the Vikings. Also shot to the heart. Will Fries to the Vikings. The Vikings are having my dream for ANC. They got Ryan Kelly, Jonathan Allen, Will Fries, Javon Hargrave. Now, I think they overpaid for both Will Fries and Jonathan Allen, but they're having the players that I wanted in Miami. They're getting them in Minnesota.
We'll see. We'll see if it pays off. If J.J. McCarthy is the guy. Probably not.
Yeah, we'll see. Interesting safety, Richie Grant heading to San Francisco as well. Next couple moves here. Kenyon Green traded to the Eagles. C.J. Gardner-Johnson in that deal heading to the Houston Texans. I'll be honest. I don't know what C.J. Gardner-Johnson's price tag is in terms of financials, but if he was available in the trade market, I would have been interested in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Not the case.
I mean, supposedly he got a bad attitude.
Yeah.
But he's good.
Listen, physical guy, high energy. And then obviously you see it, Quentin Bell, edge/linebacker, heading to Miami back once again. Then, in the early morning here, early afternoon, I should say, I guess. Daniel Jones, 1 year, $14 million deal with the Colts. Interesting. It's going to be an open competition in training camp between him and Anthony Richardson, two former top picks in the draft. That's going to be very fascinating to witness and see. But then also this, Christian Fulton, 2 year, $20 million deal to the Chiefs. Miami needs to sign a corner opposite of Jalen Ramsey pretty badly. I had Fulton on my list of targets that I would have liked to see Miami go out and try to get. And I think 10 mil per season isn't that bad whatsoever when it comes to Christian Fulton, who had a career year last season in Los Angeles under Jim Harbaugh. Disappointing one to miss out there. Coupled guards here, Laken Tomlinson, Will Harris, corner/safety hybrid, going to the Commanders on a 2-year, $8 million deal. Really wasn't on my board whatsoever. But interesting to see there. And then the Texans make a flurry of moves here. Made an absolute flurry. All right, so those are all the moves that we caught up on here over the last 24 hours in free agency. We got to tell you about our sponsor once again, and then we're going to look at some Dolphins free agent targets that are still out there that I want Miami to go after. But we are sponsored by Mando, the #1 whole body deodorant out there, and you need to get started if you want to start smelling right, especially with spring cleaning arriving. I'm excited. Mando's whole body deodorant gives me confidence when I leave the house. It's safe to use anywhere on your body, created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. The starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash, deodorant wipes, and free shipping. I've got the deodorant wipes in studio with me today, just in case I end up getting a little smelly. It gets hot and sweaty in the studio. Well, maybe this one's cold, but either way, I got Mando deodorant wipes to make sure I'm doing good on the fly in the road as well. And as a special offer for listeners right now, you can get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT. Equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. All right, so as we get back to some free agent targets for the Dolphins, clear needs still are at safety. I'd still say offensive line, corner, defensive line. Those are the 4 positions of big need right now. Safety, corner, defensive line, offensive line still. And then I'll put off-ball linebacker 2 at number 5. At the safety department, I got Justin Reed, Justin Simmons, Julian Blackman, and Jason Pinnock as my top 5 that I would probably target. These 3 are in a much different tier of their own than Pinnock, whatever. I would not be thrilled if it was Pinnock, if I'm going to be honest. These 3, Reed I'd be excited about. Blackman I'd be very excited about. Simmons I'd be lukewarm about because it would likely just be a 1-year contract, but he would be a starting caliber guy that would make me feel at least a little bit easy going into the draft, because if you have Simmons, you have Melifonwu, Patrick McMorris, and then draft one in the first 2 days, in the first 3 rounds, well, then that's a okay safety room for a year, but you still don't have a long-term guy there unless you really hit on that draft pick in April. But these 3 I would definitely prioritize. I'll be honest, Justin. If the Dolphins don't sign one of these 3, I am going to be extremely concerned about the safety room going into the draft, and I would probably say the Dolphins need to draft the safety in the first round.
Malachi Starks or what's his name? Iman, the South
Nick
Carolina.
Yeah,
you are a Dolphin.
Yeah, or Jahdae Barron. If one of these 3 aren't signed, I think safety is you need to do it in the first round, at bare minimum second round. That's how big of a need it is. And I hate drafting for need in the draft. I like to just be best player available. Dolphins also need to address corner. And if they don't address corner, you could maybe look at Jahdae Barron at corner or Will Johnson at pick number 13. But these are the 5 guys still out there that I think Miami could be interested in. Rasul Douglas, Asante Samuel Jr., Stephon Gilmore, Jonathan Jones, Kendall Fuller. I think Kendall Fuller could return. I really do. He's on the books for a $5 million cap hit already. If no team out there wants Fuller, now I would expect if they re-sign Kendall Fuller, this would ultimately happen in 3 weeks to a month, or even after the NFL draft, if he's still out there. But I could see a reunion potentially. I thought he was good last year for Miami in his 11 games played, but they wanted to free up that $2.7 million in cap space. We'll see if Fuller could return. But if you're making an investment in corner and free agency, Probably would go Asante Samuel Jr. out of this 5. 1-year deal to Stefon Gilmore, a 2-year deal to Douglas. Wouldn't make me upset either, those 5. And then on the defensive line, I have one edge in Joey Bosa. We'll see. Sounds like there's a lot of rumors about him going to San Francisco. We know it's likely down to Miami or San Francisco for Joey Bosa. But then you've got Calais Campbell. I'd like to re-sign him. Deshaun Hand, I'd like to re-sign. Greg Gaines. Live Zuriki. God, I suck. Those 4 interior defensive linemen, Joey Bosa more of an edge. But Miami has 5 edges right now. Quinn Bell, Mo Kamara, Jalen Phillips, Chop Robinson, Bradley Chubb. And they're likely going to draft another 2 as well. So if they don't get Joey Bosa, which we know they're interested, I don't really anticipate them going out and signing a different edge. Maybe I'm wrong, but with them bringing back Quentin Bell, it tells me a little bit. And on the Joey Bosa stuff, by the way, you don't have to show that. The 49ers just released Leonard Floyd to clear some cap space. Probably tells me that they're finalizing a deal for Joey Bosa. That's kind of how I feel, right? Does that not make the most sense?
Oh, they can have him. I don't think y'all really want another injured edge.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. We are 37 minutes into our live show. We have yet to get a super chat. Appreciate everybody who has tuned in so far. This is our super chat menu for day 2 of the free agency period. You know what? $5 super chats. I'm doing 5 push-ups. Why not get some workout today on the live show? $10, we'll be doing wheel spins once again. We have the same wheel from yesterday. And then $20 shots like we did yesterday as well. But I secured the 1800 tequila instead of that vodka. I like the tequila. Give me the 1800 once again here. So that's today's super chat menu. And then the deal of the day, actually, if you want to get interesting. Yesterday we did every $100 as a beer bong. Today we're doing every 50. So every $50 in super chats, I'll do a beer bong. But this is our super chat menu. We'll stay live for a while if we get super chats. If not, probably only about 2.5 hours here on the channel. We're already 40 minutes in, so can't promise us being live for very long unless we get it rolling here on today's show. And remember as well, folks, whoever sends in the most $50 super chats in the month of March, they get a fin. Every $50 super chat's a fin. Whoever has the most fins, we're shipping out this Dan Marino autographed jersey to all of y'all. So that's today's super chat menu. Who's going to get the party started? Who's going to pop the cherry? Who's going to get the first super chat of the day? You know what? Let's actually ask the people who the Dolphins should sign next.
Okay.
Who should the Dolphins sign next in free agency? What say y'all? What free agent should the Dolphins sign next? Who will the Dolphins sign next? / who do you want the Dolphins to sign next? What are the 468 people watching? What are y'all thinking? Damian says Levi, the defensive lineman. Damian says or Justin Reed. David says Justin Reed. Charles says Calais Campbell. Tyson says safety like Reed. Angel says Xavier Howard or Asante Samuel. Not going to be Xavier Howard. Vivian says Reed. Julio says Levi. Jonathan Allen's off the board, Master. Dustin says Justin Simmons. Reed. Slot receiver. We have Malik Washington, so we don't need a slot receiver. Nick Chubb. Calais Campbell. Julian Blackman. Reed. Teven Jenkins. Oh, we didn't even show the offensive line targets.
Oh, that's right.
We didn't even talk about the offensive line targets because there are still some good names out there. Let's show that real quick, and then we'll get back to this. These are the 5 guys that I think Miami should still attack on the offensive line. Obviously signed James Daniels yesterday, as well as Larry Borom. But I would like the Dolphins to sign another offensive lineman. Will Hernandez, Brandon Scherf, and Kevin Zietler are 3 veteran options that intrigue me. Zietler and Scherf probably only getting a 1-year, $5 million deal, 1-year, $6 million deal, but I would have them as our starting left guard if they signed them to that contract, and then you still would be able to draft an offensive lineman in the first 3 rounds and have them kind of be an understudy to Zietler and Scherf, as you made the investment to Daniels at right guard for 3 years. You signed Kevin or Brandon to a 1-year deal, have that rookie take over next year. That's a solid option and pathway for me. Or if you want to invest in another multi-year contract, I think you could get Will Hernandez on a 2-year, $18 million deal potentially. He was on the Arizona Cardinals last season. Mekhi Becton, we'll see where his market is. He could get like a 3 for like $35 million deal. Doubt Miami goes that route, but he is an option for the Finns. Can play him at left guard or right guard, potentially. Move Daniels to left guard, either way. Teven Jenkins, when Teven Jenkins plays football, he is a good offensive lineman. Like, his numbers back that up. The problem is he is very, 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 very injury prone. So I'm a little nervous to do that with Jenkins, but if you can sign him to a 1-year prove-it deal, like stay healthy, $6 million contract, I'd be intrigued by that. But let me know, who you guys think the Dolphins should sign next? Let me know. See Stefon Gilmore for 1 season, wouldn't hate it. Rob says, who's the nastiest of the offensive linemen now? Like, you mean the most physical?
Probably Will Hernandez.
Yeah, probably. So I see an Asante Samuel. AKA Miami says, dang, Joey just got signed. I haven't seen it official. There's been rumors about him going to the 49ers, but nothing official. Joe Tyron Shoyanka signed a 1-year, $4.5 million deal with the Browns. That's an intriguing edge name, but that was never an option for Miami. Whew, it's cold again, dude. It is cold again. Shout out to our first super chatter of the day, John Torek. Who is the one guy you'd want the Dolphins to trade for? Good question. Trade for. Let's think here. The one guy. Problem is, like, I don't know who's available, who's not available via trade. But I guess if you're saying, you got any names coming to mind? Like, I'm thinking of like offensive lineman trade targets, but I don't think anyone's really out there anymore because Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney both got traded for. Trying to think of safeties and corners probably that I would probably trade for.
I don't really think there's that many. Players don't really get traded that much in the NFL, I feel
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a tough question. And I want to give you an answer, John, but it's a tough answer.
Oh, here we go. What about, you may not like it. You might not like it, but Jair Alexander.
Interesting name. I wouldn't trade for him, but if the Packers release Alexander, I would absolutely want to sign Jair Alexander. No question I'd want to sign him.
What if it's just a 5th-round pick?
But his price tag is high. 2-year deal, 17 adding mil this season, and 18 next year. It's tough. That's tough. That's tough, man. I see Geno Stone. The one trade target I can't. Let me just look and see like NFL trade candidates. Let's see who could be on the board. No. Bills ain't going to have anyone. Panthers. No, not anyone on Carolina. Chicago. No, not really. Cincinnati. No, not really. Because we're not trading for Trey Hendrickson. Greg Newsome from Cleveland, maybe? What's Greg Newsome's contract situation?
I feel like he's due for a contract.
He's been labeled as a potential trade candidate for the Browns. You're right. This is the final year of his contract. 3.3 mil cap hit. That's not going to happen. Too high. What about Martin Emerson? Also a Browns corner.
It's okay.
He's like okay. Like nothing. You're not going to write home about that. Last year of his deal, but you would only have to pay him 3.3 mil. Cheap corner potentially, where if you like him, you could extend him after the year. Martin Emerson's up there. I'll think about that. Nobody on the Cowboys comes to mind. Nobody on Denver comes to mind. Nobody on Amik Robertson, maybe from Detroit. Robertson contract. I don't know if they'd get rid of Amik Robertson, but he's a cheap player. It'd be 4.7 mil. It's not bad for a CB2. Not the best CB2, though. Not really doing Jair Alexander. Not anyone on Houston. Oh. I'll be honest. I think I got my answer. My dream trade target, if the Dolphins created enough cap space, DeForest Buckner from the Colts.
Oh, that's pretty pricey, though.
Yeah. We've talked about him as a blockbuster trade target for the Dolphins in the past. I would be interested in DeForest Buckner from the Colts. If they wanted to move off of him and the Dolphins had the cap space, I would do that. I think it's like I did the math, like it's 17 or 18 mil per year. Expensive, but DeForest Buckner would transcend your defense. He is as durable as it comes. He missed his first NFL game in like 5 years, I think, this season due to a sprained ankle. And it wasn't even that big of an injury. Like, he is durable. He plays. He gets about 7-8 sacks on that interior. He's a good run stopper. Him and Zach Sealer would be menacing. So I think DeForest Buckner is my answer. If they were able to get the cap space for DeForest Buckner, that's my answer. $5 super chat from Jonathan Soto. Morning, boys. Brandon Scherf is my next target. We've talked about him. Mekhi Becton may be too costly, though he is better of the two. That's kind of where I stand with the offensive line free agent targets. Becton is the best one available, but I anticipate him getting a contract anywhere between 10 and 13 mil, 14 mil per season. Which I think is ultimately too pricey for the Miami Dolphins at this point after signing James Daniels to a 3-year deal. But Brandon Scherf or Kevin Zeitler or Teven Jenkins or Will Hernandez all may be between the $5 to $8 million range of 1 or 2 years. I would take one of those three. Definitely. I would definitely do that. I saw my guy Barry B in the chat. Shout out to you. I also saw my guy Magic Dragon Wizard. Shout out to two of those guys, two legendary players, or I got viewers here at the channel. But with those two $5 super chats, that's 5 push-ups a pop. So we're going to do 10 push-ups here. And we'll get the push-up cam set up. And then we'll get that going. And then we'll roll into some other news around the NFL, I guess. There really hasn't been much. Ooh, some contract details on Jonathan Allen real quick. His deal with the Vikings, $51 million over 3 years. Cash flow of 16.2, 16.9, 17.8, and then incentives to get him potentially to 60. So it's an AAV of 17 million per season, but it can get up to 60 based off incentives. Still think that's a little bit too much. So it's not the flat out 20 mil per year that we thought it was, but I still think anything above 13 mil was going to be too much for Miami, and he gets basically 4 million per season more. So, yeah, not upset with that. All right, push-up cam time. Shout out to all y'all. We'll showcase our super chat menu here in just a second as well again. But $5 is 5 push-ups today, which means we got to do 10 here. Justin, we good?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shout out to you guys for sending in those super chats. We'll get old Justin Cam set back up here. Money. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. But like I said, super chat menu today, $5 equals 5 push-ups. $10 is a wheel spin. $20 is shots of tequila. And then every $50 is a beer bong. Not $50 super chat. Every $50. We're 40 away from our first beer bong. But if you do want a shot at the Dan Marino autographed jersey, every $50 super chat in the month of March, throughout all of our live shows in March, you get a fin. We're calling it a fin for a $50 super chat. Whoever has the most fins gets the Dan Marino autographed jersey shipped out to them. Right now, we only have a couple fins given out from yesterday, or 3 fins given out. BJ Ward, Don Johnson, and Poe, all with 1. All with 1. Will we get more today? We'll have to see. But if you are just joining us, shout out to everybody. Someone saying Bosa officially signed with the Niners. Who has it? Who has the guard? Who has the information? I haven't seen that come in yet. The only thing that I've seen is the rumors from Slick Rick. So, I haven't seen it, man. I haven't seen anything official. But we did get another $5 super chat from AKA. Shout out to you. Shout out to AKA with the $5 super chat. AKA Miami gets it done. Okay, I guess we got a little. We'll pound out these 5 again. I just can't stand this dude, man. He's on timeout. I can't stand him. I can't do it. I can't do it. Just trying to come in and just like spew nonsense that's not happened. None of what he has said has happened, and he's just out of pocket. I can't take him, man. I can't take him. All right, 5 more push-ups coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some quick there. Where will Chris Grier, what will Chris Grier do next? I will say, Barry, you know what? This is a good point. Barry B says, I've been out for a while. What moves have we made so far? I think that's a good opportunity to show everybody what we've done so far in free agency. Look at the Dolphins free agency tracker. We'll start with what Miami did yesterday in Matt Dickerson, Zack Wilson, James Daniels, and Larry Borom. These 4 all signed yesterday for the Fins. Matt Dickerson was a practice squad, so that's really a nobody. But then obviously, Zack Wilson signed to be the Dolphins' backup quarterback in 2025, a 1-year, $6 million deal, can get up to $10 million in incentives, but he is likely not going to reach those incentives as long as Tua Tagovailoa can stay more healthy this season, which you could only hope he does. I personally like the move of Zack Wilson. I know he's been split on Dolphins YouTube, on Dolphins Twitter. I think Wilson, high upside guy. He's better than Skylar Thompson. He's better than Tim Boyle. He's better than Mike White. He's better than what the Dolphins have had over the past 2 to 3 seasons as a backup quarterback. So to me, I am pretty happy with Wilson coming in. High upside guy. He'll make it more fun to watch in the preseason too. That is for sure. But then the biggest addition so far in free agency, James Daniels, the offensive guard, who was playing elite level of play last season for the Steelers and in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season before he tore his Achilles. 3-year, $24 million deal. Medicals have checked out. He is on track to return to the football field in late May, early June, which has him on track to be ready to go for training camp in July, in August. So there is no concern about Daniels missing any time after tearing his Achilles last fall. He is one of the best run blockers according to Pro Football Focus last season before he got hurt. Also fits the zone run blocking scheme. Athletic guy that can get on the perimeter, get to that second level. So I really like that move. And then the Dolphins also had Larry Borom, a swing tackle. This is probably your Kendall Lamb replacement. Lamb is either retiring or not coming back to Miami. So I think that is where Larry Borom's role on this team will be. He is not a starter, but another offensive lineman added as a depth piece. Then all these three coming in this morning, Ifeatu Melifonwu, the safety / corner, but mostly safety from the Detroit Lions. He signed a 1-year, $4 million deal this morning. I don't think he should be a starter for the Miami Dolphins, but I do like him as a third safety potentially. So you have Patrick McMorris, you have Ifeatu Melifonwu in that room right now. I would love to see the Dolphins add Julian Blackmon and then head towards the NFL draft needing to add another free agent safety. That's kind of where things stand, in my opinion, when it comes to Ifeatu Melifonwu. Then a couple more signings in terms of re-signing players. Elijah Campbell, 1 year, $1.9 million deal. Special teams ace back, as well as a solid depth piece on the outside of that secondary. Quinn Bell also returning, fifth edge guy. Played a lot, played well last season. 1 year, $1.5 million deal. So that's the roundup of what the Dolphins have done in free agency to this point. We will talk more and show MDW Super Chat in just a second. But we do got to give another shout out to our sponsor, Mando. Mando will make sure you're smelling good. That whole body deodorant, it's perfect. But they also have the deodorant wipes, which makes you be able to travel on the go and be able to smell right. And with the spring cleaning here, Mando will have you smelling right. Clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. It's safe to use anywhere on your body. It's created by a doctor. It's perfect for new customers. That is the Mando Starter Pack. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. And as a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. So shout out to them. Let's get that $10 super chat on screen from our guy MDW Magic Dragon Wizard. He sent in a $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Hey there, Nick. Thanks for the shout out. Let's go. No, MDW, thank you for the $10 super chat. Greatly appreciated, my friend. Greatly appreciated, my friend. You've shown a lot of support to us during the season. And now here in the offseason during free agency. Big time. And with that $10 super chat, it's time to have our first wheel spin. Oh, Kavontae Turpin, 3-year deal to the staying with the Cowboys. Wide receiver / special team ace. Justin is a Cowboys fan. We're not going to lie and try to act like he's a Dolphins fan. So how are you feeling on that?
I'm cool with it. He definitely makes a play every single game. So you need players like that, and it's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate this dude. I can't stand him.
He made another account.
Does it all the time.
That's
I
crazy.
see Tim's question of cap space. Right now, the Miami Dolphins have $10 million in cap space. $10 million cap space. That's what the Dolphins are looking at right now. $10 million. All right, let's spin this wheel because of that $10 super chat from my guy MDW. Every 10, we spin the wheel. Spin it, baby. Sometimes beer bong, shots, push-ups, jumping jacks. You guys have to do something sometimes, but it looks like it's going to be a good one for the people because the super chat menu is 50% off for 3 minutes. How about that? 50% off for 3 minutes. 50% off for 3 minutes. Yeah, I will say with the $10 million in cap space Miami currently has, Miami could create more with restructures of Jordan Brooks, of Zach Sealer. You could create another $10 million in cap space just by restructuring both Brooks and Sealer. You can also create $20 million in cap space if you structure Tua. Now, there is a buyer beware on restructuring Tua, because if you did that, it adds more cap numbers to the next 3 or 4 seasons for Miami with Tua, with 2029 being a dead cap year because he's obviously now under contract, of like $11 million. You add $3 or $4 million over the next 3 seasons, but lower his number big time this year. It's a tough decision to make. We'll see what they ultimately do. But that's where the cap space is. All right, so as we currently stand, 50% off our Super Chat menu for 3 minutes. I'll start the timer. Starts now. Any Super Chats, push-ups, we'll move the wheel spins down to $5, shots down to $10. And you know what? We'll do $20 beer bongs for the next 3 minutes, too. $20 beer bongs for the next 3 minutes. 15 seconds in. 15 seconds in. So we really haven't seen any movement on the offensive line. Oh, Marshall Green has just been absolutely talking himself into Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers stinks. He's been obsessed with trying to get Aaron Rodgers. He thinks it would be a great move. He just tweeted this out. Aaron Rodgers makes the Giants O-line better. Bruh, the Jets offensive line was terrible last year with Aaron Rodgers. Like, what are you doing there?
Is he playing a character?
No, he legitimately thinks this. I thought he might have been trying to hype up Aaron Rodgers publicly, so when if it happened, he would be supportive and people would I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, I asked him off the record, which is now being brought on the record. I was like, Marshall, do you actually want Aaron Rodgers? And he goes, yes, I do. And because I asked him the other day, and I can't believe his answer, but that's the answer. It's the answer. Halfway through, are we going to see anyone take advantage of our half-off Super Chat menu? Thanks, Tax. After they already said it a couple times, saying. Tim says, Rollies, you're by Greg Van Roen available. That's how I know Tim is a real one. Justin, last year, the Dolphins had no offensive line on the interior. We talked about it. Going into training camp or going into June, the Dolphins projected starting offensive line featured Isaiah Wynn, but that's because we thought he was coming back, but he didn't come back due to injury. And Robert Jones and Liam Eichenberg. It was an absolute disaster. And I was always saying, sign Greg Van Roten. I'm spamming that. I talked about Greg Van Roten so much because I thought he would be better on the starting interior offensive line.
Where's he at these days?
Well, he signed with the Giants. I think he is a free agent. Let me double check. I think he's a free agent. I don't think his contract was multi-years. I will say though, I've got higher aspirations than Greg Van Roten. To be fair, I've got higher aspirations. Yeah, he signed a 1-year, $2 million deal, so he is a free agent right now. I don't really have the aspirations of Van Roten. I would take Van Roten if they signed him for a cheap contract that was ultimately just to be a depth piece. Sure, but I don't plan on having him be our starter left guard. I just don't want that. But we'll see. It passed, by the way. The only person to take advantage of half-off menu for 3 minutes was MDW. Shout out to you. I can play this game all day. $5 super chat. I hope to see more cap space than that. I think Miami, I know I just said I think like 3 times. But Jordan Brooks and Zach Sealer's contracts should be restructured. Jordan Brooks has 2 years left on his deal. He played outstanding in Miami's scheme in his first year. Still relatively young. I don't see any downside to restructuring his contract and pushing down the hit a little bit more. I don't. So I think Jordan Brooks should be restructured. I think the same thing with Zach Sealer. And if you restructure both Brooks and Sealer, you can create around $10 million more in cap space, which means you can have 20 mil plus right now. So I think Sealer and Brooks should be restructured. that will allow Miami to sign a couple more free agents out there. I don't think they need to release anyone. Just a couple of restructures. All right. Because of that $5 super chat, we have the wheel again. Spin it. Let's see what we're going to get here. Another one. 5 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we're getting our workout today, Justin. 5 jumping jacks. We've already done 15 push-ups, and we got another 5 push-ups coming in because Jonathan Soto sent in a $5 super chat. Appreciate you with the 5, with a good question coming in. We'll talk about that and then do some push-ups. What's up, Ryan? 378 people watch. I also see Al saying, do you think any of the players that we've signed are considered dogs? James Daniels is a dog. You watch some of the James Daniels film, he is very physical. He's athletic. He fits the zone run scheme that Miami has. He is an athlete, but he is a physical guy as well. You've seen some if you watch this film, man, you see some big time hits there. All right, but with Soto's super chat, $5, appreciate you, Soto. With only $10 million free agency, I don't see Miami making any moves for a while. Leonard Floyd was released, by the way. Yeah, we briefly talked about Leonard Floyd being released. Sounds like, in my opinion, the 49ers are clearing cap space to sign Joey Bosa. But we'll see on that end. Obviously, Miami and San Francisco have been the 2 teams linked to him quite a bit. But yeah, $10 million free agency. Hope Miami gets some more cap space. It can get 10 more. Like I said, restructuring Zach Sealer and Jordan Brooks, which I would like to see happen. Miami still needs to make some additions. Defensive line, corner, safety, offensive line, linebacker. Don't know if the Dolphins are going to make a flurry of signings like they did yesterday afternoon again today, but I would like to see them go that route. Oh. Dalton Reisner has anything left? Nah, I'm good on that. What? Last year we talked about Greg Van Roten and Dalton Reisner a lot. Yeah. That is desperate measures type of stuff. Like those names of Greg Van Roten and Dalton Reisner, those are names we talk about
after the draft.
In June and May, after the draft, if there's still a needed offensive line. And like that's desperation. When there's a lot of players available that are younger, better fits, that's what we talk about now. That's what we talk about now. All right. Push-up time once again. Grab this, set this up. Got 5 push-ups for the Jonathan Soto super chat. Appreciate you. Oh, let's go wide push-ups here. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that chest, baby. Get that chest working. All right, appreciate the 370 people tuning in here. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. We talk about the Dolphins on a daily basis. We put out multiple videos a day. Anytime there's Dolphins breaking news, we'll have you covered with a video. And if it's big enough breaking news, we will go live. Hit that sub button. We're on the road to 68K. We're dangerously close to 68K. We are 104 subscribers away from 68K. So hit that sub button. Hit that sub. We get to 68K today on the live show. We will do a beer bong on the house. Beer bong on the house. I'm looking at just some of these comments that you guys have had on our videos. Tell you what, the funny thing about free agency, Justin, is like these videos get off to such a hot start when you push them out, but they just hit a plateau. Like, just an absolute plateau. It's fascinating to watch. Yeah, 104 subscribers away from 68K. We get there today. I'm doing a beer bong in the house. 360 people watching. Would appreciate that. Daily content, weekly live shows. Good time. Good time here at the channel. It's a good time at the channel. All right. It's open Slack. I don't know what's going on here. Did you
I'm very wary to do that.
Yeah. I would probably hold off onto that with how, because we've had a little bit of issues. I guess do that after I would just do that after we go or finish the live show.
That's the plan for me.
Jay's saying Teron Armstead is coming back. Is that a question or is that a statement? Because it's not official. Armstead obviously restructured his contract. Yeah, so we'll see there. We might have just lost internet, because maybe not, but hopefully not. Did we lose internet?
Not on the stream.
Not on the stream. As my computer started lagging like crazy on social media and stuff, and now I can't load the YouTube studio, but yeah. MDW says you should get something to do curls with on the show. Bringing a weight would be just ridiculous. Could you imagine if I was doing legit bicep curls on the stream? That would just be utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous, I'm telling you. Okay. It's been a little quiet. We've been a little slow moving here. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like things just happen in waves in free agency. Like, obviously, day one's always going to be crazy because that's when everyone's signing everywhere. But when you then get into, like, day two, it just feels like waves. This morning, crazy wave. Jonathan Allen, Will Fries, Javon Holland, Melifonwu. Like, all these are happening so quickly in the morning. But then we've hit a lull. Like, when is it? Like, we had a couple one offers, but nothing really big.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the top available free agents right now. All right, according to NFL.com, Amari Cooper.
Oh, not something Miami's going to be interested in.
He ain't signing anytime soon. Asante Samuel Jr.
Interesting for Miami, depends on his price point.
Justin Reed.
Also, very good Dolphins target. Price point will matter a lot.
Cam Robinson.
No. Offensive tackle, won't play offensive guard. We don't need a tackle.
Stefon Diggs.
No.
Teven Jenkins.
Maybe, depending on price.
Levi Onwuzurike.
Yeah, I've talked about him. Well, you just use Onwuzurike? That sounds right.
That he's already signed?
No, that how you say that. Because I botch that name every time.
Oh, yeah.
Onwuzurike.
Onwuzurike.
Okay, that makes sense. I think my brain can compute that. Levi Onwuzurike. That is an option for Miami on the defensive line. We know the Dolphins need to do that.
Evan Ingram.
Nah. I know Dolphins fans want tight end because we do need a tight end 2. We have Julian Hill as tight end 3. Johnny Smith is tight end 1. I think I would address tight end 2 in the draft in the third or fourth round. Shout out to you, Barry B. See you, man. Appreciate you.
Calais Campbell.
Yes, bring him back. Absolutely. No questions asked. Bring Calais Campbell back.
Josh Myers.
Defensive lineman?
Center.
Center. Yeah, never mind.
Kevin Zeitler.
Yep, and on Kevin Zeitler.
Azeez Ojulari.
Probably going to be too expensive. Also don't think Dolphins address edge unless it's Joey Bosa.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
No. Wait, he's a free agent?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Coming off the old Liz Frank.
Is he cooked? Be honest.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Well, he was okay, but he only played like 3 games last year. And, again, Liz Frank surgery at 33.
Yeah, that's tough. That is certainly tough. I just got to address something here. Because someone in the chat just said, why would the Dolphins sign a Samuel Jr. as a slot corner? Makes no sense. Fun fact, in his 4-year career, he has lined up in the slot 40 times. So he's not a slot corner.
He's just small.
Yeah, he's a smaller corner, 5'10", 180, but he has never played slot corner in his career to this point. He's a boundary guy. Sorry, I just wanted to just address that comment from Matthew. Not a slot corner. Moving on.
Dante Fowler.
Nope.
Charles Omenihu.
Nope.
Don't need running back. Don't need quarterback.
Well, what kind of running back?
J.K. Dobbins.
Cheap, maybe. Dolphins said they would address or add running backs to this room. It's interesting because the Dolphins have Devon Achane and Jalen Wright, who I expect to be a very fun RB duo this year, but they don't have a lot of running backs or anybody on their roster really that can be an in-between the tackle short yardage running back. That's not Jalen Wright and Devon Achane. Those two are weapons. Those guys are speedsters. You get the ball in space on the perimeter. So I do think Miami is going to address running back with one guy to be their RB3 to be a more physical guy, whether it's through the draft or free agency. Dobbins fits that mold a little bit. So, that's a little bit out there. Nick Chubb is another name that's interesting. All right, keep rolling.
Rico Dowdle.
No.
Zadarius Smith.
No.
We've already talked about Gilmore and Simmons.
Gilmore and Simmons would be yeses based on contracts, yeah.
Kaiser White.
Linebacker, interesting. I would prefer Tyrell Dodson to come back over Kaiser White, but I wouldn't complain if we signed Kaiser White on a 2-year, $10 million deal.
Elijah Moore.
No.
Keenan Allen.
No.
Tyron Smith.
Ugh.
Mike Hilton.
Interesting, because you want to talk about a pure slot corner, yeah, but I don't think it is something Miami should do. I like Mike Hilton, good ball player, but you got Kader Kahu back, so don't need Mike Hilton.
Someone brought this up in the chat earlier. Jedrick Wills.
Interesting. Could he move to guard?
That's what the chat was saying.
Chat's saying yes. I don't feel so confident about that. But let me look at Kendrick Wills, former first-round pick. Jedrick Wills.
Actor with Baker Mayfield.
Jedrick Wills. This guy's a big fella, 6'5", 300. Maybe he can move inside. Been tackle his whole career. He's played left tackle exclusively. He has never played a snap that's not at left tackle in the NFL. Do you think he could randomly move in and just play left guard?
But okay, if you're resorting to that, and most of the names that I just named, these are all more or less a handful sprinkled in. These are all players that you sign after the draft. Of I struck out.
Yeah.
And here, I need a backup plan.
That's tough. Tough one. It's a tough call. I'd like to get a real offensive guard, but we'll see. We will see. Offer Justin Simmons the minimum. See,
I don't think he signs until training camp.
Yeah, here's my thing. We're talking about players here in free agency that aren't going to be signed in free agency. When I talk free agency, I'm talking this week. You guys are mentioning a lot of players that the Dolphins should sign on 1-year cheap contracts. These are veterans that will sign a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the draft, down the line, once teams have addressed some needs in the draft, and then go to sign free agents. The players that sign now are mostly guys that teams covet. Are teams coveting Justin Simmons at this point?
No.
Is there a big market for Simmons? No. Simmons at this point in his career, to me, is, okay, we missed out on the young tier of safeties. Let's go out and get Simmons.
Justin Reed and Blackman have to be signed before anybody even touches Simmons.
I would agree. I would be stunned because here's the thing, and it's a good ploy by Simmons as well, if we're going to be honest. For teams that need a safety, once Reed and Blackman are off the board, the gap between Justin Simmons and the next best safety is massive. So then he could get a larger contract on his 1-year deal.
And it would it's gonna sound bad, but players get hurt. And he's an older player. And it might be more privy for him to wait around and miss half a training camp, wait for somebody to go down, and it's oh, you guys have aspirations to compete this year? Come sign me. It's gonna cost you a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I get to start, and I get paid.
It's interesting. It's certainly an interesting hypothetical there. That's what I'm saying. Justice Simmons didn't sign last year until when was it? Wasn't it August?
Yeah.
Like he was out there for a long time. I remember talking about Justin Simmons for a while myself on the channel as an option because Miami needed a third safety, but like probably was never going to be Justin Simmons. Bill says, I like James Daniels and safety signing Melifonwu. Time to draft Kelvin Banks or Starks. Who you like in the first? Still think it's a little too early to say which is a bigger need. I actually think if I had to pick one position in the draft, if I had to pigeonhole myself into a position right now at pick number 13, it would be corner. It would. Because if you think about the Dolphins' corner room, it's Jalen Ramsey, it's Kader Kohu in the nickel, and then you got a bunch of nobodies. Storm Duck, Ethan Bonner, Cam Smith. I don't trust them. Jalen Ramsey's getting up there in age. If Will Johnson's there at pick number 13, it would be hard for me to pass up on him right now. Same thing could be said for Jahdae Barrett out of Texas because he's versatile. He could play outside at corner. He could play safety if absolutely necessary. I would lean one of those guys.
It sounds like Will Johnson isn't going to test at his pro day. So
Really?
they're saying he hurt his hamstring.
I think he'll be available at 13 because...
Oh, he definitely will. He might fall out of the first.
No, you think?
Slow corners that don't test
I will say...
get spit on.
I will say, if he doesn't run the 40, his rumors of already being slow, plus that at his pro day, that does give me some cause for concern.
I wouldn't draft him with a first-round pick if he's not going to run the 40.
He was such a good corner. In 2023, he was disgusting, dude. He coming into this year, he was a projected top 5 pick. That's how good he was at Michigan in 2023. Chase, right now it's projected to be around 10 million. Around 10 million.
What if I could interest you? Let's just say they don't sign anybody else. And I know it's still early. You go O-line, first round, and you get your choice of, give me 1 second, Xavier Watts.
You saw him for the second round here?
Yeah.
Okay. So we went offensive line in the first round.
Let me pull up the corners. Okay, have you heard of like Maxwell Harrison?
Yeah,
or
he's really speedy out of Kentucky.
Azir Thomas?
From Florida State, interesting player, fringe first round guy.
Or, I know he's been talked about as being a first round corner, but he has the little ACL.
Oh, Siobhan Revel?
Yeah.
I would take Siobhan Revel in the second round, no hesitations. Like if he was there at 48, on the board. Especially if I went offensive line or defensive line in the first round. If I went trenches in the first round, Siobhan Revel's there at 48, bang. Bang. He's really good, man. He was a projected first-round pick before the ACL injury. And I trust Revel, and I feel like if the medicals check out, boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Listen, 370 people watching. We still want to stay live, which we're going to be live for a little bit here. A little free agency special. But if you guys have any questions, any thoughts on the Dolphins, super chat, you'll get on screen. You drive the conversation. You know, how about this? I feel like the Dolphins fans could be liking a little signing right now. So if you want the Dolphins to sign someone, type me.
Type me?
Yeah, me. I got that. I built that. I should be in there. I think so. Should be just with the one above that. No?
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Listen, the Dolphins have done a couple things today. Melifonwu re-signing Quentin Bell and Elijah Campbell. But if you want the Dolphins to make another move today, spam me down in the comment section. Spam me. Spam me. Sean Strauss, Jack Bolduck, Ryan Nodal, Cameron C. Every Noodle. If you want the Dolphins to make a move, spam me. Chris Boyd, spamming those me's. Arm is saying we need a linebacker. Indeed we do. Could go in the draft there. Could go Jihad Campbell in the first round from Alabama.
Hey, there's talk about him.
He's rising
top
up boards.
15.
Yeah, he's rising up boards right now. P3, Pony Boy, Logan, Sylvester, Nate, spamming those me's. So also some good linebackers on day 2 of the draft.
Ooh, Schwetzinger.
What'd you say?
Schwetzinger, UCLA.
Oh, yeah, that's a good linebacker. Am I missing something on Joey Bosa? Like, I know Slick Rick said, I think people are just speculating it's going to happen because of the cat move and Slick Rick saying it, but I don't know.
The 49ers are cooked.
Dude, they've lost so many players. And they've signed, what, Richie Grant and that tight end from Jacksonville? The Tyler Warren at 13 stuff, you could stop it now. I'm not kidding. There's a better chance that we win the Powerball tomorrow than Tyler Warren being available with pick number 13. I'm being so dead serious. Like, I don't think I should ever get another question about Tyler Warren at 13. It's like asking about Travis Hunter. They're not going to be there. And you could clip this and come back if he's there at 13 and dunk on my face. But I'm willing to guarantee he's not there at 13. This guy is a top 5 player in the draft. There is very little blue chip prospects in my opinion. He is one of them.
Honestly, I think Miami's in a good spot.
I would agree. If the Dolphins were able to go into the draft taking best player available, they will get a stud at 13. Whether it's on the defensive line, offensive line, linebacker, safety, corner, doesn't matter. They will get a stud. Interesting. Trade down? Maybe. Could see it. Magnus, listen, Grier made a good pick last year in Chop Robinson. I didn't like it at the time, but first round pick, Chop Robinson, that was a hit. That was a hit. That was a hit. Can't complain about that.
Back to your cornerback point, though. I'm not buying it, but there's been a talk amongst the beat reporters in the Cowboys community that they're probably going to go corner.
Well, they've been the team heavily linked to Will Johnson, but could they go Jahdae Barrett?
Too small.
Too small? Then what corner are they grabbing?
I'll kill myself if. Oh, can I say that? Sorry.
Yeah, who cares?
I would be heavily disgusted if they took Will Johnson.
At 12?
Yeah.
Heavily disgusted. I mean, we talk about draft guys. Like, Dolphins didn't have a first-round pick in 2023 or 2022, but let's look at some of the last first-round picks by Chris Grier. My goodness. Chop Robinson. That's a hit so far. Jalen Waddle. Hit. Jalen Phillips. I'd consider that a hit despite his injury history. Tua Tagovailoa. No matter what you think, it's a hit. Austin Jackson, drafted in 2020. Rough start at tackle. Had a rough start to his career, but he's still here. And he's a starting right tackle in this league. So that's a hit. Noah, not a hit. Christian Wilkins, hit. Micah Fitzpatrick, hit. Charles Harris, that one's not a hit. Laramie Tunsil, hit. And that was the first draft he had in 2016. So, talk about this draft. by Chris Grier out of the gates quickly in 2016. That's when he was hired. Laramie Tunsil, Xavier Howard, Kenyon Drake.
Wow.
First 3 picks. Out of the gates quick. Then followed it up with the disaster of Charles Harris and Waquan McMillan. But then bounced back in a big way with Minka Fitzpatrick, Mike Gesicki, Jerome Baker, Durham Smythe, Jason Sanders, the kicker. Then Christian Wilkins, Andrew Van Ginkel in 2019. Then the big 2020 draft, Tua, Austin Jackson, Noah, Robert Hunt, Raekwon Davis, Brandon Jones. Then Jalen Waddle, Phillips, Holland, Eichenberg. Then not really any draft picks in 2022. Not a good class. Tyndall, Ezukama, Good, and Skylar Thompson. 2023, Cam Smith, bad. But Devon Achane, very good. And then last year, I'm high on this draft class. Chop Robinson, I think Patrick Paul is going to be good. I really like Jalen Wright. Mohamed Kamara, I think, is going to be solid. Malik Washington, I like. Patrick Morris is going to be solid, I think. And then Taj Washington, you never know. But I like what Chris Grier has done over the last 4 or 5 years. He's been fine in the first round. Take away Charles Harris, he's been good in the first round. And listen, first round picks, what would you say the hit rate on first round picks are? 50-50?
40 something.
Especially if you're not picking inside the top 10, like it gets lower and lower. And the picks that he's made in the top 10. Tua, it's a hit. Waddle, hit. He's 2 for 2 in the top 10. Austin Jackson in the teens, hit. Christian Wilkins in the teens, hit. Mink at 11, big hit. Phillips, like I mentioned. Chop Robinson, like Chris Grier's been good in the first round. Yes. Chris Grier's been good in the first round. Just throwing that out there. JD Hughes says Tunsil was a top 3 pick. He got lucky to get him. Does it matter? Does it matter? They took the chance on the gas mask.
Different era of the NFL, too. When weed was a big, big no-no.
I don't know, man. I feel like, listen, Chris Grier has done a lot of bad things. He's let a lot of people walk that he shouldn't have, and he's made some bad signings, but you can't outweigh the positives because of a couple negatives. I think Chris Grier deserves a lot of hate for neglecting the trenches. I have said that. I said that he should be fired. But you also got to acknowledge that he's done some good things in the draft, like those players we just mentioned. Last year, Aaron Brewer's contract, great. Jordan Brooks, great. Calais Campbell, great. Like, he's made good moves. Yeah, there's been misses, but there's been good moves too. It's not just one-sided. It's not one way. It's not one way. All right, we do got to tell everyone about Mando. Mando is the sponsor on today's live show. It's the #1 whole body deodorant to make sure you're smelling right. They also got other great options in items like these deodorant wipes right here that I got in studio. Those deodorant wipes, perfect in travel, on the go, whether you need a quick little freshen up. Mando's the place to get those items. Whole body deodorant created by a doctor. Saw firsthand how normal BO is being misdiagnosed and mistreated. The starter pack for Mando is perfect for new customers. Comes with a South Stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free packs of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, what we just showed, plus free shipping. Plus, as a special offer for new listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. All right, still waiting to see if the Dolphins make a move today. Did get another super chat. Plop that on screen, and then we'll be able to show that. And then we'll show our super chat menu again. Tyrann Mathieu just reworked his contract to stay with the Saints. Soto, $2 super chat. Over under 2.5 rookie start for Miami this season.
I say over.
I'm going under. Going under. Here's my reasoning for my answer. Quarterback, no rookie. Running back, no rookie. Left tackle, not a rookie. Even if you count left guard. Okay, so there's one. There's one on the offense. One on the offense. Center, no. Right guard, no. Right tackle, no. 3 wide receivers, no. Tight end, no. Jonnu Smith. So you got only one starter on the offense. On the defense. 2 edges, no. It gets dicey here. Because are the Dolphins going to... I will give you one safety or one corner will be a rookie.
You think they're going to address one or the other?
One of them will be relied on being a rookie, I think. Both of them, whereas it gets questionable. Like, if I had to project it, I think they re-sign Calais Campbell and they re-sign Tyrell Dodson. I think they try to bring those 2 back, which means no defensive line starter, that's a rookie. No linebacker starter, that's a rookie. So that's why I think it just comes down to, are they starting at boundary corner and safety a rookie? I say one of them's a veteran, which is why I go under with 2. Offensive guard and safety is probably my projection. They sign a veteran corner. That's my prediction.
What if no other lineman is signed?
Well, then it's going to be... Well, we already counted the lineman as a rookie.
No other offensive lineman is signed. Like, no more free agency signings. And maybe, let's just say Calais Campbell comes back. And their first pick is Giad Campbell.
That'd be interesting. Well, then he's starting for sure, because you run a 2 linebacker defense with Anthony Weaver. But that would make you have a lot of rookie starters. That's for sure. I mean, there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of ifs. Let's give it to the end of the week. We go to the end of the week and then we'll talk. Once we get to the weekend, that's where we'll kind of sit back, see what happened. He is not, Ruski. He is not. So I don't know I don't know where you think you saw that, but he did not get restructured as of right now. So please stop spamming that because it did not happen. Not happen. Yeah, I mean, that's just misinformed. I don't know why and what made you think that. I don't know what makes you excited, and if you just want to just lie, I don't know why, but he did not get restructured. As of right now, no beat reporter has talked about that. No national reporter has talked about that being restructured. You can get $19.5 million if you restructure to his contract, but it has not happened. So... yeah. It's not happen. Not happen. Dude, I'm telling you, it just gets colder and colder in here. Like, as the day goes on. I think they pump AC throughout the day, which I guess makes sense.
Or with the sun going up, it makes the building hotter and cranking up the AC.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe.
Hey, man, Howie Roseman's not good at drafting either.
Listen, every GM has misses. Every GM has hits. you find me a GM that is shooting 100% from the field, I'll also have beachfront property to sell you in Montana. If you find me a GM that misses every pick, I'll also find you beachfront property in Rochester, New York.
I'll give Charles credit. Ozzie Newsome used to be damn near 100%
Like
in the draft, but he's retired.
Y'all saying Ravens are shooting 100%.
Not recently.
They've had a good stretch here. There's no debating that. Nate Wiggins looks like he's a solid player. Zay Flowers in the first round, good pick. Kyle Hamilton. Rashad Bateman, first round. I wouldn't consider that a hit.
That's a bust.
Hayden Hurst in 2018, it's not a hit. They are on a heater, though. I got him credit. From 2016, their first-round picks, Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphrey, Hayden Hurst, Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown, Patrick Queen, Rashad Bateman,
Patrick Queen is
Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, Zay Flowers, Nate Wiggins. That's good. It's a good run, but it's not like they've also had some misses in the second round. Oh, I forgot to mention Odafe Owe.
And then if we want to talk another organization, I know everyone loves them, some Howie Roseman. 2019, Andre Dillard. 2020, Jalen Reagor.
Over Justin Jefferson. I got to remember that. No.
2021, Devontae Smith. 2022, Jordan Davis. Yuck.
Yeah, he hasn't been good this so far, or at least to his expectations.
Obviously, Jalen Carter.
Good pick.
And then Quinyon Mitchell.
Really good pick. That was a good pick.
And then, I don't think he was the GM in 2017.
When did Howie Roseman get hired? I'll look it up. When did Howie Roseman join the Eagles? He was hired... Oh, he's been there a long time. He's been GM since 2010.
Oh, so that's even worse. Okay, so 2010, we'll give him Brandon Graham. 2011, Danny Watkins. Who is that?
That timer just ran out on the bottom, by the way, real quick.
Fletcher Cox in 2012.
Big time hit.
2013, Lane Johnson.
Big time hit.
But then 2014, Marcus Smith.
I don't even know who that is.
He flamed out. In 2015, Nelson Aguilar.
Ooh.
And then, sure, we'll give you the first 2 years, but Wentz.
Was an MVP before he tore his ACL. I think one of the biggest what-ifs in history. Doesn't tear his ACL against the Rams. What happens that season? Because Nick Foles obviously doesn't lead them to the Super Bowl win that they had. And is Wentz still an elite quarterback in the NFL? One of the biggest what-ifs in NFL history, in my opinion. Carson Wentz doesn't tear his ACL.
He follows that up with Derek Barnett. Ugh.
He did have a
good year.
Good couple seasons, but nothing crazy.
And then, he didn't have a first-round pick in 2018, but they took Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
But we already talked about the other ones. So the point is, honestly, Grier's resume in the first round,
it hasn't been bad.
just as good.
Like, you missed out on Noah Igabanawe, however you say his last name. I always forget. But most of, it's been pretty solid. Him and Charles Harris have been the misses, but nothing crazy after that. Iggy was a bad pick. Yes, no debating that. No debating that. All right, let's get a comment driver up here, and then we'll cycle through what the Dolphins have done in free agency, but who do you want the Dolphins to sign next? Who do you want the Dolphins to sign next? Give me some names. Let's step away from the draft. It's during free agency. Who should the Dolphins sign next? Let me know your thoughts. What are you guys thinking? What are y'all thinking? Justin Reed. Joey Bosa. Family YouTube account wants Jedrick Wills really bad. He's been commenting this all day long.
He has pedigree.
See Justin Reed or Kevin Zeitler, A.J. Dillon. Listen, they had that report earlier today that A.J. Dillon is coming soon. Zeitler. Becton. DJ Reed went to the Lions yesterday. DJ Edwards. Gus Edwards could be super cheap. Honestly, as RB3 running in between the tackles, I wouldn't hate the Gus bus. I wouldn't hate the Gus bus. Chris Boyd says Bosa. I don't hate it. No, I answered that, Chase. Charles Barkley, yeah. D-Hop, no. I will say if there's one veteran wide receiver that I would sign, it would actually be DeAndre Hopkins on a cheap contract. Why, you ask? Well, it's because I think it would be beneficial for Miami if they add a wide receiver to have a contested catch guy and a red zone threat that's a different type of wide receiver to Waddle and Hill. That's like a speedy guy. And Malik Washington's obviously a slot wide receiver. And D-Hop has declined quite a bit. Was not on the field a lot for the Chiefs offense last year. Very much is kind of washed. But you have him as your fourth wide receiver, probably playing 25% of the snaps. Like, he could have that Odell Beckham Jr. role that you anticipated last season for Miami, to be that outside guy and be a contested catch guy. And let Tyreek Hill and Waddle kind of move around. Like, I think cheap. Like, it would have to be a 1-year, $6 million contract, something like that. I would do D-Hop. But I don't know how much he'll make. And I would not give him anything more than that because he is not the same person that he was. He just wasn't. He isn't. So that isn't the same player anymore. Isn't the same player. Also, I do want to make note, guys. Every $50 in Super Chats today, we're doing a beer bong. We're at 37. Can we get the $50 right now? Let's get the $50 in Super Chats. I'd like to do a beer bong. Live for day 2 of free agency. We'd put out completely free content consistently. It would be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. All right. Here's what Miami has done in free agency to this point. Matt Dickerson re-signed. Nothing there. Just a practice squad guy. Zack Wilson, backup quarterback for Miami this upcoming year. 1-year, $6 million deal. Former second overall pick from BYU. Struggled in his first 3 seasons with the Jets. Was the backup for Bo Nix last season in Denver. Got good reviews. Seemed like he was a good locker room guy. Good presence. I like the fit. I like the addition. High upside, strong arm. A lot to work with. If Mike McDaniel is able to get the best out of Zack Wilson, it could pay off in huge dividends for Miami as a potential backup quarterback. I like the move for Zack Wilson. I like James Daniels even more. This was someone that I labeled as a target for the Miami Dolphins all offseason long. One of the better zone scheme offensive linemen out there, ranked number 1 in PFF grade in zone run blocking scheme last season in his limited playing time. Remember, he tore his Achilles, but played 4 or 5 games. He is expected to be fully ready to go football action in late May, early June. So he'll be back ready to go for training camp in July and August, so no concern there. James Daniels slotted in to be your starting right guard. Really like that move. Larry Borom, also a signing. He is a depth piece. He's a Kendall Lamb replacement, swing tackle / depth on the interior offensive line. Certainly not going to be a starter. 3 more signings, all happening this morning. Ifeatu Melifonwu, the safety. He's solid, not something that I would have expected to be as a starter, but my goodness. Melifonwu is an intriguing name to add. Elijah Campbell and Quinn Bell both re-signed with the Miami Dolphins, 1-year deals a pop. Miami currently has about $10 million in cap space according to Barry Jackson. Still have holes at corner, safety, defensive line, offensive line, linebacker as well. We'll see what Miami ultimately does. We got to see what Miami ultimately does. But that's what the Dolphins have done so far in free agency. 7 moves. I really only count 6, though. I don't really count the Matt Dickerson move. So I'm really only counting the 6 moves. Zack Wilson, these 3, and then the 2 offensive linemen. I think Miami will be very active in the second wave of free agency. That's kind of where I view things. I think they ultimately, they know they don't have the money to compete with some of these top free agents right now. So I think they'll kind of just wait for next week, sign these cheaper contracts. So that's kind of where I think Miami's going with this.
And I think most of the remaining names outside of a few are in that wave.
Yeah. We can take a look at some of the targets for Miami still on the board. Obviously, we mentioned safety being a big need. These are the top 4 safeties that fit for the Fins, in my opinion. I did not expect to have Jason Pinnock on this list on day 2 of NFL free agency, Justin. But here we are. I think there was a clear tier break between Justin Reed, Julian Blackmon, and Justin Simmons. I want Blackmon or Reed the most, although they would be the most expensive. I don't think Blackmon would be that expensive. I think you get Julian Blackmon on a 3-year, $23 million deal, 3 for 24. Something in that range, I think could work for Miami. If not, I'd be kind of heartbroken. But Justin Simmons is a decent option on a 1-year deal as well. When you go to the offensive line targets, these are the 5 best names available as of right now. Teven Jenkins, Mekhi Becton, Kevin Zeitler, Brandon Scherf, and Will Hernandez. I think Zeitler and Scherf make sense on 1-year, $5 million deals. Cheap would be starting level caliber left guards for Miami. But then you could also draft an offensive lineman early and have them work behind them. To me, that's kind of where I think they could go with this, right? And I've said this a little bit when you talk about offensive line, specifically talking about the Miami Dolphins. If Kevin Zeitler and Brandon Scherf would be signed by Miami on a 1-year, $5 million deal, let's just say that, you slot them in at left guard. You have one of those 2 start at left guard, Patrick Paul at left tackle, Aaron Brewer at center, James Daniels at right guard, Austin Jackson at right tackle. Those 5 are fine. That's a fine starting offensive line. Is it top 10 in football? No. Is it bottom 7 in football? Probably not, but it's just below that mid-range point. But if Patrick Paul ends up being really, really good, well, then it can get to that top half part of football. But then you can draft an offensive lineman on day 2. You don't have to take one in the first round. You can take one either in the 3rd or in the 2nd round and have them develop behind the veteran. That's kind of how I see this offensive line kind of situation going out. Ronnie's asking, can we find a center? We have a center. Aaron Brewer signed a 3-year deal last season and was the most consistent offensive lineman we had. Aaron Brewer, 2 years left on his deal. We have a center. Don't need a center. We will not be talking about centers. Defensive line targets coming up here. 1 edge in Joey Bosa, although I do think he is going to be a San Francisco 49er. We'll see. But I do think it is going to be interesting to see. Miami's obviously interested. Levi, how'd you say it earlier?
Oh, Levi Onwuzurike.
Onwuzurike. Yeah, that checks out. Levi Onwuzurike is one of the top targets. Will be interesting to see what he ultimately gets in free agency. Could he get a bigger contract like a BJ Hill, $10 million per season? Could he get $5 or $6 million per season? We'll see. Also would like to bring back Calais Campbell without a question. Also would like to bring Deshaun Hand back. He was pretty solid in rotation. Not a starting level interior defensive lineman, but a good 3rd or 4th guy for sure. Greg Gaines also fits that mold with Deshaun Hand. I think he's an intriguing guy. He's a decent run stopper that I could see Miami being interested in. Corner is obviously a big need for the Dolphins. There are some bigger names still here. Rasul Douglas and Asante Samuel Jr. are two of the top guys available at corner. Then the next three here are veteran guys that I expect one-year contracts, whether it's with Miami or not. I think Kendall Fuller, although he got released by the Miami Dolphins earlier in this offseason, could still be a reunion candidate. Seriously. Like, if Fuller's still out there, probably not this week, but in 3 weeks, maybe even after the NFL draft, Kendall Fuller still available? Yeah, I could see him coming back on a one-year, $3 million deal, something like that. Same thing with Jonathan Jones. I don't expect him to get a big contract. Undersized corner. Struggled at times last season in New England, but has had a good success in his career. Stefon Gilmore, even though he's 34, 35 years old, he's still playing at a pretty solid, capable level. I wouldn't hate him on a one-year deal, although I do think Miami should go a little bit youthful at their corner spot. I think a draft of a corner could very much be in play. So those are my top 5 targets for corner. We've talked about offensive line, defensive line, and safety as well. 4 biggest positions in need. I mean, Chase, you're just thinking way too small-minded right now, man. They're obviously not going to address all their needs with $10 million in cap space. They're either going to restructure contracts or they are going to take it into the draft.
That's part of the game.
Yeah. JD Hughes, I'm kind of with you on that sentiment. When it comes to the draft right now, I like your boy Kelvin Banks. I do. But I don't know if he's a slam dunk pick to move to guard. I don't know if him at 13 would be the best move for Miami.
And you might as well just take Booker if you want a pure guard. But he's
not a fit in Miami.
I know.
That's the part that kills me. I know people will talk about Booker, and I understand that. But I don't want Booker because he's not an athlete. He doesn't fit in Miami's system.
Do you think – I know Taka Mimbu tested out of the top 15 and back into the top, I've seen even top 5. Do you think that the fact that he's probably going to be a guard maybe gets him to slide a little bit? Would you give up a pick to move up 3 spots from Mimbu?
Probably not. No, there's just the Dolphins have 10 picks in this draft, so they have draft capital to move up with if they wanted to. But I would save some of those day 3 picks to maybe move up in day 2, day 3, or early day 3. We have 2 4th rounders. We have 2 5th rounders. When we get into the 2nd and 3rd round, you'll utilize those picks if you want to play or move up and go grab one. Why not? Like I said, you have 2 4ths and 2 5ths. What if you offered 1 4th and 1 5th for an extra 3rd round pick? So now you have, instead of 2 4ths and 2 5s, you just have 1 extra pick in the 3rd, but that's also another top 100 pick potentially. So it's a cat and mouse game in the draft. Who's on your board, who's not on your board? That's interesting. But I am kind of at the point where even though I want to address the offensive line a lot, I do. It's my biggest thing for this team. They already did it with James Daniels. Very happy about that. But we obviously know there's a left guard spot. If Armand Membu or Will Campbell are on the board at 13, you draft that player. If they are not on the board at 13, I am not forcing an offensive lineman pick. I would probably look to safety, linebacker, corner, defensive line, whoever's the highest player on your board. That's kind of when I'm talking the draft right now.
And I guarantee these targets, maybe not Becton, but I could totally see Sheriff, Zietler, and even Jenkins being available after the draft. Let's say you strike out. Would you be cool with bringing one of these in after the draft?
Sorry, say that again?
I guarantee that Jenkins, Zietler, and Sheriff are still available after the draft. And let's say
I don't know about Jenkins, but Zietler and Sheriff I kind of agree with.
Let's just say that the board falls in that scenario.
Okay.
Campbell and Mimbu are not available. and second round, it just doesn't work out in the guard slot. Would you be cool with throwing them some money after the draft? And you just say, hey, we're just going to make it work.
Yeah, I guess gotta have to. I don't know. Like, it's tough, man. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. A lot of tough decisions Chris Grier is going to have to make. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. We don't need a right guard. We signed our right guard. Did that yesterday with James Daniels. I also think James Daniels could play left guard if you needed him to, if there's a different, like Mekhi Becton, for example. If you spent on Mekhi Becton, If you spent on Mekhi Becton, who's been a tackle for his career but had an excellent season at right guard last season, I would be fine moving James Daniels to left guard. I would. I trust him to be able to do that. I would. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. A lot of ups and downs here. A lot of ups and downs. That's the fascinating thing about this Dolphins team, man. Not a lot of cap space, but they will need to address a lot of needs, a lot of draft picks. But I'm curious to see where things ultimately go, because this will be, I think, a spaced out offseason. Steve's saying a right guard that just had an Achilles injury. He's expected to be fully healthy by June. So he's going to be ready to go unless he gets a different type of injury week one. I get it. There's a little bit of concern of the injury history, but just because he has an injury history doesn't mean we need a different. They gave him a 3-year deal, $8 million per season. That is starting level money. He is your starting guard. So you can cross off one of two starting offensive guard spots for this upcoming year off your board. That's just the truth. It's the truth. Jalen Phillips will be healthy by the start of the season. He tore his ACL in week 4. It's a lot of time. James Daniels tore his Achilles in that same time frame, week 4, week 5. And he's expected to be back by June. And a torn Achilles is arguably harder to come back from than a torn ACL. So they're both going to be ready. Just saying. 360 people watching. Appreciate everyone tuning in here on this Tuesday afternoon. Appreciate y'all. Anthony Nelson back to the Bucks. 2 years, $10 million. It's been a very slow day. We got a hectic morning. Morning was crazy today. Javon Holland of the Giants. Vikings get Will Fries and Jonathan Allen. Dolphins got Melifonwu. But it's been a slow afternoon. It's been like a slow death. It's been a slow death. I'll say this, folks. If we don't end up getting a little bit of super chat flurry, or the Dolphins don't make a signing, we're probably out of here at 2:30 or at the 30-minute mark here. So 26 minutes from now could be when we sign off. If the Dolphins don't make a move, or y'all, I hate to be like that, but it's just how it works around here at Chat Sports. If the super chats aren't flowing, we need to free up studio space for other people and need to provide help for our other channels and people that need help from us. So it's kind of how it works around here. Either got to make a signing or super chats got to be running in. And we're offering good deals here. I mean, I was hoping to have a lot of fun today. But anyway, we do got to tell you guys about Mando, the whole body deodorant that I trust to make sure I'm smelling right, because they've got so many great products. My favorite scent is the Mount Fuji whole body stick deodorant, but you also got the deodorant wipes, which I take with me when I go on vacation, when I travel, no matter where I'm going. These are always with me, because if I ever need a quick freshen up, well, I know Mando's there to get me. And during the spring cleaning, it is the only place that I trust to make sure I'm smelling right. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO is being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. The starter pack is perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. And for you guys right now, you can get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Shout out to them for sponsoring today's live show. Shout out to them.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go, before we show that, let's do this, yeah. Go to Love the Dolphins one. Do you guys love the Dolphins? Spam those MI, or we could do that too. Yeah, Will Hernandez was injured, by the way. He only played 5 games last season and then season-ending knee injury. So, but he is expected to be back. He would be ready to go for the season. I know it would be a risk to sign Will Hernandez to pair up on that offensive line, and you sign 2 guys that have big-time season-ending injuries last year coming here, but like you just got to take when you're balling on a budget like Miami is, you got to take the chance. You got to take the chance. You got to take shots. That's why, yeah, exactly. I think Will Hernandez, 2 years, 13 mil, 6.5 per season. Could be more than that. But I'd take the chance on that.
He played well with Arizona.
He's been good in it for a couple years. Cheap. $5 for my guy Don. What's up, Don? Good to see you again. Sucks we didn't get Will Fries. Now I'm pulling for us to Kevin Zietler. Come on, Grier. Well, Don, gotta be honest. 5 years, 88 mil for Will Fries. Didn't see that coming.
They blew the bank.
That is 18 million per season. Right? Math? That's ridiculous. Like, Miami was never going to be able to offer that, nor should they have. Will Fries is a great player, someone I wanted really, really badly. But I thought he was going to get 13 to 15 mil per season. Like, if he signed a 3-year, $42 million deal, all right, I would have been a little peeved off that the Dolphins wouldn't do that. But 5 for 88, yeah, I'm good. Not doing that. All right, with that $5 super chat, we do have another set of push-ups, 5 push-ups, so. What kind of push-up should I do, Justin? Should I do standard, wide? We're going tricep. You trying to bang job me? All right, he said diamond push-ups. We'll do diamond push-ups. Why not? Oh, a little harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I have the shoulders. I got to strengthen on my shoulders. I've actually got...
No better day than to start today.
Yeah, I've actually got good shoulders in terms of like that when you like everybody's body when you work out has a muscle group that gets overdeveloped. I think mine is shoulders.
Oh, so you pulling the band
like I
easily?
Yeah, like that. Like my traps also are overdeveloped. I don't even work out my traps like that. But like I'm telling you, if you just like look at my body, like they're very much developed, like on par with everything else. I don't even work them out. It's like that's like that. That's just how it is.
Space it out. Space out all the other ones.
Yeah. I know the diamond push-ups are shoulders and triceps. Shoulders and triceps. Appreciate that $5 super chat from Don Johnson. Super chat menu for today is as follows. I got $5, 5 push-ups. $10, we'll spin the wheel. $20, we'll take some shots. So, and every $50 is a beer bong. We're at $42 of super chats, which means a $10 super chat would get us to a beer bong. Just saying. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. I have a pretty strong feeling that I just feel like Miami's not making a move during the day today.
Yeah, or even today at all.
Yeah, it might not be today. Like I said, they don't have a ton of cap space. We made shorts to break down the Quentin Bell and Elijah Campbell signings. We'll probably make a video about those two later today, if nothing else comes in. But, yeah, Grier likes to do it at night. I actually think they said last year, if you take a flashback to the first day of free agency, the Dolphins didn't make a signing until 7 Eastern time on the first day, which is eerily similar to yesterday. They didn't make it. When did we push out the Zack Wilson video? Like 5:30, 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Which is around that 6:30, 7 o'clock range Eastern. Now, they did make the signing probably around like around 6 Eastern. So they definitely wait to do their signings. That's for sure. It's kind of where it feels on that end. I'm guessing Aaron Rodgers didn't announce where he was signing on the Pat McAfee show, because that show's over, right?
Yep.
They're not going still.
I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
I feel like it's happening this week, though, for sure. No? I mean, that's like the next domino to fall QB-wise. Because the Steelers clearly want Aaron Rodgers. So do the Giants. But then you have Russell Wilson kind of sitting there as the backup prize to whoever doesn't get Aaron Rodgers. And then my question is like, I don't even know if the Giants want Russell Wilson. And I don't even know if they miss out on Aaron Rodgers, will Russ even want to go to the Giants? So, I don't know. Rodgers is interesting, because if he goes to Pittsburgh, where does Russ go? Logic says New York, but I don't know if that's going to be the case.
The retirement home.
There's buzz around Tennessee, but I feel like Tennessee's also might lean Cam Ward, even though I don't know, man. The draft is going to be so interesting. I tell you what. I don't think we'll know who the number 1 overall pick is until really close to the draft. Like, usually the past couple of years, we know the number 1 pick right away. Whether it's Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, spacing on some of these other ones. Joe Burrow.
Oh. Well, that was a while ago.
Joe Burrow is 2020. Ooh, Puka Nacua is changing his number.
To what?
12.
Oh.
That's what he wore at BYU.
My assessment of him gets even worse.
What was your assessment?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you after the stream.
Oh, boy. He's changing it from 17 to 12, which frees up 17, obviously, for Devontae Adams. Yeah, why can't I remember these first overall picks? I'm, like, spacing out. Like Kyler Murray in 2019. Or was that 2018?
That was Baker. It was 2018.
Yeah, Baker was 2018. Because then Kyler was 2019. Burrow 2020. Lawrence 21. It's really 2022 that's escaping me. Oh, that was Trayvon Walker.
Oh, that's right.
And then 2023 was... Shit. 2024 was Caleb, so who's 2023? Now I'm spacing on 2023.
Let's see.
Bryce Young, thank you. My God.
Oh, wow.
My God. So we didn't know Bryce Young was going number 1 overall. for a while. Like, Carolina traded up for number 1, but I felt like it was like only finalized Young was going to be the number 1 pick like a week ago in advance, because like there was a lot of buzz between him or Stroud. But yeah. Oh man, nothing crazy has happened today to this point for sure. We're only going to probably stay live another 15 minutes if no signing happens or we don't have anything crazy happen on our stream. Like I said, it'd be pretty disappointing not to get to $50 today in Super Chats. Not even one beer bong. Not even one. No, Joey Bosa has not officially been signed by the San Francisco 49ers. It's not official. Seems like it's heading that way, but it's not official whatsoever. I would also like to re-sign Tyrell Dodson. Game of Fire, he is lying. We are not located in Compton. We are located in Dallas, Texas. We're not working out of Compton. You guys are hilarious, man. You guys are hilarious. Technically, Bose is still out there. What's the heat like? It's like 70 here right now. It's fine. It's cool.
I wish we were outside.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wish we were doing this job outside is right, Justin, because our studio is freezing. Nah, there's not really any buzz around Miami right now. The only player that we've had been linked to Miami has been Joey Bosa. But there's been no rumors about anything else. Will there be another move today by Miami? What was your guys' reaction to the Javon Holland signing? Let me know your thoughts. What was the reaction to Javon Holland going to the Giants? What was the one-word reaction to that signing? I actually did want to get this no. And if nothing crazy happens in the next 5-6 minutes, probably end the live show talking about this. Go one-word reaction to this signing.
Okay.
What was the one word? What was your initial reaction to Javon Holland going to the Giants on a 3-year, $45 million deal? Good riddance. Surprising. I get it all. Meh. A lot of money, confused. Suckers, kick rocks. The kick rock stuff is funny, I'm not going to lie. I am happy for him that he got a bag because he did have a solid time in Miami. Like, despite how the way it ended in the media and on the field, yeah, it's been a good run for him regardless. Studio meh. Last year was rough, overpaid. I disagree on that stretch. Jonathan Soto, I was very open about how I would not pay him $17, $18 million per year. I said, how many times, Justin, did people ask me on live shows, and in comments and stuff like that, what price point would you bring Javon Holland back for? I said $15 million was probably where we could have a conversation, and he got paid $15 million. I would have had a conversation about bringing him back for $15 million. Business decision, overpaid, great, fine, meh. Market value. I don't think he's overpaid. Do you think he got overpaid?
Oh, I thought he got underpaid for what we thought.
Yeah.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, did Morag?
Yeah, Morag got. If you're looking at the safety market, Trayvon Morag is the highest paid one from the free agency period.
Oh, that's.
3 years, $51 million, 17 per season.
You think the Giants? You think they would have rather just signed Xavier McKinney last year?
I can't tell if Joe Shane just hated Xavier McKinney or made a mistake not paying Xavier McKinney and was like, well, I need a safety.
And just overcompensate?
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, at least Javon Holland didn't go in division. I can't believe that he... See, I disagree with this, Alex. I like Talawanu Hufanga. But he should not be the highest paid safety coming off the injury history that he's had. Why Giants over Vikings? Vikings went in a different direction. They went in the trenches. They went Fries, Hargrave, Allen, Ryan Kelly, and then re-signed their big guy in Byron Murphy. So they didn't have money. I don't think the money allotted to pay Javon Holland that big contract. Fascinating. Who is my biggest target right now? Julian Blackmon. It's sad that that's my biggest target, but I just know where Miami at least stands in terms of their ability to pay players, and I think Julian Blackmon is the guy that I really want. You sign Blackmon to a 2-year, $16 million deal. That's what Jeremy Chin got, or a 3 for $24 million deal, and you have a good safety threshold. You have Blackmon as your starter. You can go draft one in the first 3 rounds. Also have Melifonwu as your third safety. And then you have Patrick Morris as your 4th guy. That's a pretty good safety room. Blackmon, rookie, in the first 3 rounds. Melifonwu, McMorris. Be fine with that, man. I'd be fine with that. That's my top guy. I wouldn't complain if it was Mekhi Becton. But I just doubt Miami goes after Becton due to his price point. Due to their price point. Don't foresee that. Blackmon was really good in coverage last year. Not the best tackler, a little bit undersized, but really good cover safety. And for his price point, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
Well, Jawan Johnson is signed.
Most recent signing in the NFL, Jawan Johnson. 3-year, $30 million deal with the Saints. I like Levi. I just wouldn't put him as my top guy. Wouldn't put him as my top guy. All right, it's 2:25. If we don't really get the Super Chats cranking or the Dolphins don't make a signing in the next 5 minutes, we're hopping off at 2:30. Or 3:30 Eastern time, I should say. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Been live for almost 2.5 hours. Dolphins have done absolutely nothing. It's been pretty slow in the NFL world as a whole. And anyway, we'll get out of here. But we could stay alive. We know how we can stay alive. Start a stream at 7 when Chris Grier wakes up. I missed this one. I'm just seeing it now. Patrick Ricard back with the Ravens.
Yeah, I saw that.
Fullback. The fullback market, man. Kyle Juszczyk. released. Shock there. I would be all over that if I was Miami, but we have Alec Ingold, so. But that it obviously make a lot of sense if if the Dolphins didn't have Ingold, Houshtek to Miami would be the biggest lock of all time.
Oh, yeah. As was like, I don't think anybody else is going to sign him, though. I don't think anyone really uses a fullback.
Yeah. But how much longer do we have Alec Ingold? I'm pretty sure this is his last year of his deal coming up. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'll double check. Wrong. He actually has one more year. I forgot he signed an extension before last season. He's under contract this year and then next year. This year and next year.
You think they actually pay Purdy?
It'll be interesting. That's one of the biggest things. They've been clearing a lot of cap space, that's for sure. Not re-signing anyone. Stavros just joined. Did the Niners get Boster? Not official. Not official. There's a lot of buzz around that happening, but I don't think it's going to happen. Or I don't think it's going to be announced officially anytime soon. But we'll see.
Probably don't have the money.
Coop says, I bet Grier doesn't even know who Bosa is. Well, the Dolphins are in the final two. It's been reported that the Dolphins and 49ers are the top two suitors for Joey Bosa, and it's also been reported that Bosa has a contract offer from Miami out there. So, all right. Why don't you flash the Super Chat menu real quick, and then if no Super Chats come in, we'll sign off here. What the heck is that noise? 10 mil 1 year for Bosa? I would do it. It was rumored that he might get a $15 million contract for 1 year.
Well, wasn't the rumor that both the 49ers and the Dolphins offered around 8 to 10?
Yeah, that's the rumor. Don't know how accurate that is. It's hard to really pinpoint it, but the rumor is that it was there's an offer from both San Francisco and Miami, 1 year, 8 to 10 mil. That's the rumor. Slushy says, why do you think we haven't got anyone yet? Because we only have 10 mil in cap space right now after making the signings that we have. And there's not a lot of... One, there's not a lot of stud free agents out there. Two, cap space is limited. So that's a little bit why. So that's why. They're going bargain shopping. Going bargain shopping. All right, no Super Chats coming in. That was the way we were going to stay live. If any Super Chats came in, because Dolphins ain't moving anything or ain't doing any moves. James, you say that. He has not been restructured. I don't know why a couple of people have come into the chat and say that Tua contract has been restructured, because it has not. James saying he definitely has. You're wrong, buddy. All right. People have spoken. We're calling it. All right. See y'all around with a video later today. Anytime the Dolphins make a signing in free agency, we'll break it down for you. Unless the Dolphins make a blockbuster trade, we probably won't have any random live shows like this. The next time we'll be live is next Tuesday for our normal Dolphins live show. Unless somehow the Dolphins make a blockbuster move. Because I don't really see any free agents out there that would be live worthy unless they made a big time trade. So, adios. Appreciate everyone who joined us today. Peace out. Let's hope the Dolphins make a move. If they do, we'll have a video.